Hey Falcons fans! Alright, so let's talk about what's really going on here. The Atlanta Falcons are approaching their bye week, but if you think this is an off week for the team, think again. Coming off a brutal 38-6 loss to the Denver Broncos, this week is about regrouping, rethinking, and resetting the course of a season that still has promise despite recent setbacks. For context, this loss was the Falcons' worst in 3 years, and while they still sit atop the NFC South with a 6-5 record and a 1.5 game lead, it's clear there are more questions than answers right now. The big question on everyone's mind is, how does this team fix what's broken? Quarterback Kirk Cousins, who's also dealing with injuries, said it best, "How do we fix it?" That's still to be determined. These are important conversations that still need to happen, and time will tell. But first, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to stay informed. Let's get started. So what exactly are the Falcons planning to do during this crucial bye week? First and foremost, health is the #1 priority. Head coach Raheem Morris has stressed that getting Cousins, dealing with right shoulder and elbow issues, and receiver Darnell Mooney, hamstring injury, closer to full strength is essential. But it's not just about the stars. Several players coming off injured reserve, like starting center Drew Dalman and key rotational defensive backs Rook Orhororo and DeMarco Hellams, could return soon, bringing much-needed depth. But let's be real, healing alone won't solve the Falcons' problems. Atlanta's defense currently ranks last in the league in total defense, pass defense, scoring, and sacks. And offensively, the red zone struggles and lack of passing touchdowns in recent games are glaring issues. The coaching staff is taking this week to evaluate every aspect of their game plan. Star running back Robinson is right there with them. On Monday, Robinson shared his approach. "I'm going to watch every run, every pass protection rep that I've been involved in." He plans to drill down to the nitty-gritty with fellow defensive end Tyler Allgeier, with the goal of finding ways to improve their running lanes and become better passing targets for Cousins. "It's more like, what could I have done better?" Robinson said. "Should I have pressed the hole longer? Was there a cut I missed? How did the defense react?" That's the kind of introspection and dedication we love to see. And it's not just the players doing the work. Coach Morris and his staff are creating a detailed packet filled with data dating back to the Falcons' mini-bye week after their Thursday night win over the Buccaneers. This packet breaks down every critical situation, from normal downs to second and long scenarios, third downs, and even red zone and 2-minute drills. Morris said it's about analyzing what we really did well, what we didn't do well, and what needs fixing. It's essentially a self-diagnosis tool to identify and correct weaknesses. Some of these meetings and evaluations are done together as a staff, while others are done individually. The point? To form unique perspectives and bring innovative solutions back to the table. Once everything is analyzed, the coaches will simplify the findings and present them to the players in a way that's easy to absorb and implement. Morris sees this as an opportunity, not a burden. He even described the process as fun given their position as NFC South leaders with playoff aspirations. But the truth is, if the Falcons don't find solutions during this time, all of these questions become meaningless. It's do or die. So what's next? The Falcons know who they are. The roster is what it is, and while getting healthier is a huge plus, real change comes from within. Morris believes there are tangible fixes available, whether it's adjusting schemes, putting players in better positions, or simply executing better. Some of it's scheme. Some of it's putting players in different positions. Some of it's doing different things across the board, Morris said. Whatever it takes to win football games is what we're willing to do. The blowout loss to Denver marked the team's first losing streak of the season, but don't panic just yet. Morris insists that one game doesn't define this team. It was a wake-up call, no doubt, but the Falcons are built tough, and they have an entire week to regroup. After some much-needed rest and family time, Morris expects his players to come back ready to fight. "It's all still right in front of us," Morris said. And I think that's the most important thing for everyone to know. Okay, Falcons fans, it's your turn. What do you think needs to change? Do you believe in the adjustments the coaching staff is making? Are you confident the team can bounce back after the bye week? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Just a few weeks ago, we were riding high, feeling great about this team's chances in the NFC playoff race. Fast forward to now, and 2 straight losses have drastically changed the mood. While we still sit atop the NFC South with a 1.5-game lead, it's fair to say things aren't looking so secure. NFL.com's Jeffrey Chadiha had some advice for us: don't get carried away. In his recent analysis, Chadiha reminded everyone that despite the Falcons' recent slump, the sky isn't falling. He pointed out that the NFC South isn't exactly the toughest division in the league, and with a 4-1 record against divisional opponents, Atlanta's path to the playoffs remains very doable. As Chadiha put it, unless they completely melt down, they'll find at least 3 more wins before the season is over. But here's where things get tricky. Of course, Chadiha's overall message is positive. But there are legitimate reasons to be concerned, and let's be honest, as fans, we're going to feel every win and loss deeply. It's just part of the passion we have for this team. For one, Tampa Bay remains a real threat in this division race. Yes, we've beaten the Buccaneers twice, but they have a much easier remaining schedule than we do. And that means every game counts even more. Another thing worth noting is Chadiha's suggestion that the Falcons can cruise to a division title with wins over struggling teams like the Raiders, Giants, and Panthers. But does that really inspire confidence? It sounds more like they're inching toward a playoff spot than they do about dominating. After missing the playoffs 7 years in a row, we all know that the fans and this organization want more than just a standard division title. Okay, let's talk about the quarterback situation for a minute. Michael Penix Jr. made a brief appearance in garbage time during that tough Denver game, but it was surprising to see how limited his opportunities were. With Kirk Cousins as our starter for at least the next 2 seasons, any chance to give Penix significant reps seems crucial to his development. Sure, we needed to avoid any more injuries, but giving Penix a chance to lead even a garbage time drive could have been valuable for him and the team's future. Despite the limited opportunities, Penix showed some flashes of promise. His poise was noticeable. He didn't force throws and even used his legs to escape pressure and minimize negative plays. While he's not the fastest guy, just seeing a quarterback who can step up and move in the pocket was refreshing. It's something we haven't seen much of from Cousins, especially since his Achilles injury. Penix also showed smart decision-making by throwing the ball away when necessary. It may seem small, but these moments reflect a young quarterback who is willing to play smart even when the game is out of reach. Overall, it was a small sample size, but there's reason to be cautiously optimistic. Now, here's the tricky part: Penix seems more ready for NFL action than some might expect. He's not a raw project like Trey Lance or Anthony Richardson. With his experience and maturity, it seems like a waste to not have a clear path for him into the starting lineup. This quarterback situation is complicated. Is Cousins the best option right now, or is Penix the future we're holding on to? It's a frustrating position to be in, especially if it means limiting what Penix can bring to the table. So, Falcons fans, what do you think? Is Chadiha right that we shouldn't overreact to recent losses, or do you see deeper issues that need to be fixed? And how do you feel about the way we're handling the quarterback situation? Leave your thoughts in the comments. We want to hear from you. Before you go, be sure to like this video and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any future updates. Go Falcons!